so your question is, which renewable energy technology do you think relies most heavily on heat transfer principles and why?
Okay. My name is Mary Dempsey, and my question was, which renewable energy industry relies the most heavily on heat transfer principles and why? My answer to that would be nuclear energy, because when you look, I'm going to use a pressurized water reactor as my example, because for that, like start to finish, you use heat transfer principles, because when you start in the nuclear fuel, I think it's conduction when it goes from inside the fuel to the outside of the fuel, because there's a lot of heat energy inside nuclear fuel. And then you also have pressurized water inside the reactor acting as like a moderator around the fuel. And the heat transfers, I think, by convection to the water. And then that water is forced up through the reactor and in the form of steam. And then the steam goes through some piping that goes around and meets another set of piping that has steam in it and transfers the heat through conduction and convection, because you don't want the nuclear waste to like leak through in the first set of piping, or minimize that as much as possible. So it heats up the steam in the second set of piping, and then that piping is what goes to the turbine to generate electricity. And then after it goes to the turbine, the water goes to the condenser and cools down. There's another heat transfer thing. And then it goes back and forms liquid through the whole cycle to go through again. So, in short, I think nuclear energy relies the most heavily on heat transfer principles.